something for you?
Ream Dog, I talk about him all the time, is that he's a guy that is a great example of, just making the most out of every opportunity, whether it's just an endo drill, maybe you get in 3 plays in team and they're all blocking plays, but you block your tail off. It might be a play where you don't get the ball and you just run your route, but you were open, so take care of me. You should have already been over here.
Look good.
I appreciate you, man. Hey, keep an eye on me. And he's a guy that just took advantage of every one of his opportunities. And so just like anything else, good opportunities lead to more and more and more. And now he's confident. He knows I expect him to make every play. I'm disappointed when he doesn't make a play. I'm not surprised when he makes a play. I'm disappointed when he doesn't make one. So he understands that. So I'm in love with Ream Dog. He's a guy. He's an animal.
Did you see a couple other walk-ons following his path at all? They got to prove it, I know.
Right.
But
CY,
showing some signs.
CY is that way. All those guys working hard, but I probably, if you wanted to ask me just to name one guy, it'd be probably Connor Young, CY.
What's about him?
Same thing. He's a good player. He's got talent. He's starting to get comfortable. He knows the offense. It means something to him. He comes to work every day focused, and he's had examples of it. B. Riley was that way. Ream Dog is that way. Gabe, so CY's been here. He's seen it happen. He's seen what they've done to get to the point they are now. So he's following that suit.
Would it surprise you that his brother was like a 270-pound tight
I
end
heard
hero?
that. It did surprise me when I first learned that. It did surprise me.
Really?
Exactly. Yeah. So that's funny. But CY, I like him. I like CY a lot. I expect CY to maybe continue to get better and see what happens.
Well, McQuitty, how's he been looking so far?
He's been hurt, but he looks good on air, for whatever that's worth. He catches the ball well. He's attentive. He's into it. He's learned the offense, as quick as he can, and he does look good running around and catching the ball. He's fluid catching the ball. He's sure-handed, so that part looks good.
What's his injury situation?
He's got a shoulder deal. Yeah.
How much did it help that some of these receivers were able to work with Tanner and Patrick on the Sundays last fall? And do you see that kind of helping out right now with what you're doing? Is there a chemistry developing? Or?
I don't know about it. It helped just for the simple fact that, they got the reps.
Yeah.
Other than that, it's probably just the same, in terms of just they haven't worked together that much for it to be a chemistry factor, but it did help in terms of just those guys getting those reps. And those Sundays were valuable to them, just, running our plays and being with the quarterback that will be there in the future. So that part is true.
I guess 3 days in, has it looked as good as it could for you're bringing in new quarterbacks and receivers are getting to know them? As
Probably
far as that
so.
goes?
I'd say, yeah. At this point, you just want to make sure guys they know what they're doing. When you're a new wideout, you want to make sure they know what they're doing, and then you go from there. So, I'm pleased with that part.
You've got quite a few guys that have departed, and Stanley just said that he has no doubt that this group is going to catch way more than Westy and Brandon and everyone else did. Do you see them having that potential?
I need to talk to Stan. He doesn't need to say those things, but maybe, this group is going to have a chance. You never know what happened. Even if they do or if they don't, I don't compare the groups because Stan is not the same player he was last year, and he's part of that group. So every year is a new year because every kid's different the next year. So I don't care if they catch more or not, but it may happen.
You feel like your group made some pretty good gains with strength and conditioning?
I do. Our strength and conditioning guys did a great job with them. They all look a little bulkier, and they're moving really good. They look more explosive. Stan, in particular, and the DP's moving well too. He's moving a lot more fluid than he ended up the season moving and looking. So I think they all have, worked hard, and it shows it from the weight room.
Is it like a fine line to keep your guys from getting too bulky, so that way they're still moving the way that you want?
Yeah, but the strength and conditioning guys take care of that by the way they lift and the amounts and things of that nature. So it's on them. But I think that there definitely is, because ultimately the movement is the most important, especially at wideout. So, but our strength and conditioning coaches understand that.
I know they're on the other side of the ball, but what have you thought of the new staff members and kind of just how that's gelled. And you're known for your energy out there, and now everyone's talking about Diaco. And
I hate those guys. Not just kidding. No, it's great. It's great. Energy is good. Energy brings out energy, and the guys play well. So those guys are great guys. We have a good relationship off the field. Coach Diaco, Dante, and Coach Elliott, those guys have been great.
You noticed anything different in Tanner Lee that you saw when he was at Tulane compared to what you've been seeing out of him now?
No, it's about the same.
About the same.
This is how he played. I anticipated him looking good, and this offense is very similar to the offense we ran at Tulane, so that's why I knew he'd be comfortable with it. We ran the same stuff, just different terminology, but it's just the same pro style.